Here's a little something from Monty here. And we're going to get some disagreements going. I'm going to disagree with Monty. Sorry, Monty. I wish you were here to defend yourself. Okay, on discipline, Monty. The basis of training must be self-discipline. Cool. A man must learn to be the master of himself and to keep in subjection the bad qualities in his makeup. I love that. Self-discipline can be developed by training in such things as conception of duty, self-control, self-respect, endurance, and so on. We then have collective discipline, and there's no doubt that the initial training in this subject is best carried out by drill. Men must be taught instinctively to obey orders, whatever they are. I do not believe men will fight voluntarily for a cause without the iron bonds of discipline. The best form of discipline is subordination of self for the benefit of the community. So, I'm going to make some comments on those. Number one, when you're saying that you should obey orders regardless of what they are, don't agree. I don't agree with that. I want my men to question my orders. I want them to, if I'm telling them to do something that they don't think is smart, I want them to question me. I want them to come up with then a better solution. That's how we're going to win.
Even the moral thing too, right? Like to obey orders regardless.
Oh,
like
yeah, if they're immoral. Oh, for sure.
Illegal.
For sure. I want my whole team to be, hey, if this is the wrong thing to do, we shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
Next, the other one he says here is, he says that people won't fight for a cause without the iron bonds of discipline. I don't believe that that's true either. And I think if you look at American history, guys, we didn't have this strict level. Of course, there's discipline, of course, in the military. And there's imposed discipline in the military. But the things that people and all soldiers have accomplished without strict imposed discipline is they've given their lives over and over and over, thousands and thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of cases where men have given their lives, not because I said or because the leader said, go and charge this machine gun nest. That's not why they did it. They did it because they believed in the cause. So I don't agree with that one. I think that men will fight voluntarily for a cause without the iron bonds of discipline. And you know when I think they do it? I think they do it when that cause is freedom. So when the cause is freedom, I believe men will fight without the bonds of discipline over them. And this idea that the best form of discipline is the subordination of self for the benefit of the community, I don't actually agree with that one either. I think the best form of discipline is when there is alignment in the discipline for the team and the individual bring success and survival and freedom. And when those things are aligned, that's when I think you get the finest form of discipline. Now, he recovers a little bit from my criticism here.
Sure.
And of course, to everyone that is wondering why I'm sort of making fun of myself, it's pretty embarrassing to be sitting here and disagreeing with a guy like Monty. So please don't take me the wrong way. Just giving my opinion here. And I'm in no way comparing my military knowledge with General Montgomery. And he does say this: the basis of all discipline is self-discipline. Which, this is beautiful, and I agree with that 100%. This self-discipline may come from within a person or may be imposed upon him from without. Don't agree. That'll only last a little while. Whatever its source, it involves the idea of self-control and self-restraint. That is true.
But there is, I think it's called situational discipline, I think, or...
what is that?
I could have the expression wrong, but I think it is situational, just meaning like if you're in a certain situation, you'll be really self-disciplined, but once you get out, you're not. You know, like I don't know. You ever watched?
No.
You ever watched There's a show called The Biggest Loser.
No.
Right? So
Yeah,
it's a bunch of overweight
it's people that are having weight problems. They go on a show, they get fed certain things made to work out, and they lose a bunch of weight, and then they win the program, and then when they go back home and they're not around that imposed discipline, they lose it. Right, that's my point.
Yeah.
My point is that imposed discipline, it works. Yeah. While you have the imposer there watching you. Yeah. What I would prefer is to have someone that makes a change in their mindset and develops self-discipline.
Right.
Now,
so
sometimes you can get that from imposed discipline, and you realize, like, you get shown the freedom that discipline gives you, and then you carry on with it. Like a lot of people that listen to the podcast, and they've done incredible things with their lives because we weren't there to impose discipline on them, but they recognized themselves. Maybe they said, okay, you know what, I'm going to get up for the next 2 weeks. I'm going to get up early. I'm going to work out, and I'm going to eat healthy. 2 weeks go by. They've lost a little bit of body fat. They've gained a little bit of muscle, and they feel good. Right. And all of a sudden, they realize the benefits of discipline. And so they change their mindset, and they become more disciplined human beings. Yeah. That's what I like. Yeah. What I don't like is that I'll run a boot camp on you and yell at you and scream. But that's another thing. People want me to yell and scream. I get that. I think once or twice a day, someone will say, you need to make an alarm clock where you yell and tell me to get out of bed. Yeah. And I say get psychological warfare, but I'm not going to yell in psychological warfare because yelling isn't an effective tool compared to actually speaking to someone and letting them understand why it's important. Yeah. That's the preferred tool. Occasionally, do you got to yell at people? Occasionally, yes, you do. Occasionally. Not very often, though. Yeah, it's pretty rare, huh? But you're right, huh, with that situational discipline, because even... Think about what's worse. Somebody yelling at you or someone whispering at you. It's actually worse, isn't it? Someone saying... Yeah, in a lot of ways. Yeah, to me, it's worse. Sure. Yelling and screaming, it just doesn't... No, and it really doesn't really matter what they're saying either if you choose yelling or whispering. Because, like, you know, even if they're telling you a normal thing, like, hey, here, this is what I want from the store. I want avocados, tomatoes, and, you know, some wine. But what if I whisper it to you? Hey, Jocko. Hey, come here, bro. That might freak me out, actually. Give me some avocado. Yeah. So it depends. I'm not sure about that example. No, you get that. That's the point. It doesn't really matter what they're saying, whispering versus yelling. Oh, yeah, it definitely has a different psychological effect, for sure. Because that definitely freaks me out. You being, hey, Jocko, can you pick up a bottle of wine for us? No, actually, I can. I'm leaving. Yeah, the wine kind of makes it extra awkward, for sure.